What's up, y'all? This is Alan Z. I'm super happy to be able to interview my friend Jason Chu. He's a very talented rapper, spoken word poet, activist, just a great human being in general. Jason, if you want to add anything to your attributes, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm a proud Ace NextGen member. Like Alan said, I've been making music for a little while, and proud to call him a friend as well. And really happy to share and to wrap up this incredible day of activities.
Yeah, so I wanted to start off with, I guess, this question of identity, right? Because we as Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders always have been confronted with this. Who are we?
Mhm.
So I feel like we kind of have to struggle to tell people about like the fact that we're people of color and people just don't see that. So we get hit with those, you're probably honorary white, proximity to whiteness. So how do you, I guess, answer to those type of questions when people confront you with that?
That's yeah, man. We get this a lot, right? We get like, oh, it's the model minority myth, right? It's this myth of like, oh, yeah, you're like not white, but you benefit from the system still. And like you and I were talking about just while we were chopping it up, I feel like the answer is we got to know ourselves, right? Because if we don't know ourselves, then we can buy into right, internalized oppression, and we can be like, yo, yeah, I've got it pretty good. um but then, right, when you learn about the bamboo ceiling and you learn about how, like, whatever percentage of Ivy League grads are Asian, but then like one or two Fortune 500 CEOs are Asian, or you start learning about stuff like the fact that the median income for Asian Americans does look pretty high, but then you break that down by ethnicity, and you realize, like, okay, like Chinese Americans, Taiwanese Americans, Japanese Americans are doing okay, but then you look at, like, you know uh, you look at Lao or Thai or Hmong or even like Vietnamese Filipino communities that have real financial struggles sometimes. And I think the more that we can actually just learn about ourselves, the more we can use those facts to disprove that and say, no, 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 like just starting off with the question of like, oh, are you honorary whites? If you play into that, you're already giving up too much, right? If you start with like, oh yeah, we benefit from this, but that's not true already. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are affected by it different than Black folks. We're affected by it different than Latinx and Native folks, but it's not like we get a get out of jail free card. We're just in a different jail. You know what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
I would say it's quite the contrary too, because like if we're talking about the three levers of power in American society, we literally don't have any of them. Like,
Hmm.
so it's like what political power, generational wealth, and
Hmm.
media. So
Hmm.
we're politically powerless for the most part. Most of us that do come have like high education. We come from new money, not old money. So that's two out of three that we don't have, and three, we're super underrepresented in media. So it's like when people pose those questions, it's like, what do we benefit from? It's like you said, it's affecting us differently, and that's something that we need to continue to tell people and
Hmm.
educate them.
Hmm.
So as you probably know, like with COVID, it came with a lot of hate and xenophobia. So do you want to explain kind of like your song "Uh-Oh" and what it what inspired
Yeah,
it?
that's great, man. Thank you. So I think we'll play a little clip from the video in a second. But basically, I have a trap group, Night Market, NITEMRKT, Night Market. That's my crew, and we were all set. I mean, we were actually talking with a lot of Ace Next Gen members, Ian and CL, and a lot of friends. Andrew, we were gonna fly out. We were gonna do shows, a national tour, and then literally, mid March, everything shut down like a month before we were supposed to hit the road. Um, but I know that you're a creative, I'm a creative. We don't we don't just have a plan. Like for my career, I've never had a plan. I've never been like, oh, this is my 2-year goal and my 6-month goal. It was always like, yo, culture changes and we just got to surf the waves. So we felt like, okay, if we're Chinese American, we're creating art, and there's this huge racial crisis that's going on, we got to address it. And so I'd also started working with our friends at Hate as a Virus, founders of this movement that were starting to really create some buzz. So we were saying, okay, let's tie into that movement and let's try to issue a statement on something that is really affecting our community. So I think we have the video queued up,
Yep.
right?
Well, if you want to play, go ahead.
I said, uh-oh, why you tripping? No hate. Why you stepping in my space, fucking up my feng shui?
I said, uh-oh, you be too late to stink. Clean it in your mouth with some toothpaste. Oh, another challenger. Your glasses say you wanna see my manager. Oh, are you mad at mine? Just a month ago you had fun watching Parasite, blowing steam, Fahrenheit, Big Beard, Mennonite, big team, Yao Ming, level up, Dragonite. If I see you at the Target Market Park, better not talk shit on my grandma.
I'm so hate is a virus that I'ma miss a bait with the Pyrex. You can't keep pacing my mileage. I'm about to raise the stakes like a high risk. You can feel it in your face when you're vibing. Keep twitching like the base of your eyelids. You can hear the room shake in the silence. Think I got another case of the vibe, bitch. Hi, bitch. Bet you really scared of Corona. Can't stand the Asian aroma. Funny how I saw you on the corner, looking like a foreigner, drinking on a can of Arizona. Oh my.
保持距离，被弄坏我的风水。未来举例，你突然情绪崩溃，看我老爷在街上那句猛推，你懒惰的要命，你还等谁啊？看我成功，你不停的猛追，我不用打击就当你崩溃。保持距离，千万别弄坏我风水。保持距离，千万别弄坏我风水。
Uh-oh, why you tripping? No hate. Why you stepping in my space, fucking up my feng shui?
I said, uh-oh, you be too late to stink. Clean it in your mouth with some toothpaste.
Yeah, so uh-oh was the song we just listened to. Do you have any, like, I guess last words you would want to say about the song, and like what message you want to kind of bring to the people that are listening to it?
Yeah, I think, part of it honestly is just the people that have hate in their hearts are gonna have hate in their hearts. Hopefully there's people who are just ignorant that can get swayed by knowledge, but some people are just gonna hate, right? And I think in the face of that hate, and this is something that I learned from hip hop, this is something that I know you and I have really honor in the Black community, is when hatred comes their way, that doesn't, I think that can cause you to crumble and to doubt yourself and to hate yourself, or that can cause you to stand taller, right? And kind of poke your chest out and say, it's like the Cat Williams sketch, like you're hating on me. That doesn't reflect on me. That reflects on you. That reflects on something that you're lacking.
Mhm.
And so for this record, for Uh-oh, we really wanted to create that kind of vibe for our Asian American fans and community. And and it extends beyond Asian Americans, right? If you're a fan of ours, if you don't have hate in your heart and haters are coming at you, don't crumble under their gaze. Like, stand taller and know that it doesn't actually change who you are and the value you have.
For sure. I think that's something that a lot of Asian Americans like myself have kind of struggled with growing up, because we faced a lot of identity crisis because of discrimination and bullying and just not knowing where we stand in this country. So I think now we're at this weird place in terms of like our identity, right? Is we're faced with these lies like, oh, proximity to whiteness, you benefit from the system. So I can see a lot of Asian kids growing up not knowing how to deal with it. So the internalize that hate and kind of like spew that hatred through social media because that's all they know, right? Instead of knowing about who we really are and where we stand and how we were pretty much put in a crossfire when it comes to this black and white dichotomy that is America. So what would you say to, I guess, our fellow Asians that are kind of confused and don't know how to process these feelings and don't know who they are really?
Yeah, man, that's and I like that you asked that question, because I feel like you and I have seen each other on this journey together of like, growing up into being proud Asian men, and not proud in the sense of not proud in the sense of like, oh, we're better than everyone else. Like that's like, like that's because low-key that's insecurity.
Yeah,
I think that's insecurity.
We're not like that rice bitch.
Right? Like, and I mean, I love that. I love poking the chest out, right? But like, when I talk about like Asian pride, I mean like just loving. I've been thinking a lot this Asian Heritage Month about how much I love being Asian American. Um, and I think that comes from knowing, right? That comes from knowing who you are. Cause and this is so important, right? Because America will tell us we're Asians, and
Mm.
that's it, right? And I think so many young Asian Americans look at that and go, man, I don't speak the language fluent, or I love hip hop, and I love pizza, and I love like I don't know, like I love
One Tree
living in
Hill.
LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if the way to be proud of being Asian is to embrace like China, then no, of course I'm not proud of that. But I think it's so important to understand that being Asian American doesn't mean being Asian, it means being Asian American. Right? So that's 150 years of history. So even though my family arrived in the late 70s, my pops and my mom went to university here, by being Asian America, that means that Japanese American incarceration is part of my story. That means that the Chinese Exclusion Act is part of my story. That means that Filipino farm workers,
Yep.
labor organizers are part of my story.
Rainbow strikes. Yep.
Exactly, right? And so that's something to be so proud of, I think, because that's the joy of being racialized, actually. And I think a lot of people talk about the negative side of being racialized, right? Oh, no, don't see me for my skin, see me for myself. Oh, you don't know my story. But the flip side of it is belonging to a racialized group lets us learn from people who aren't related to us by blood, but who America, in American eyes, a Chinese railroad worker, a Japanese farm laborer, a Filipino, migrant worker, a Vietnamese refugee, these are all my ancestors racially. And if I can own those stories, now I've got this rich, rich background of you know, different Asian American experiences that I can pull from, that I can learn from, that I can take pride in. And that's so big because people always one thing we hear a lot for Asian Americans is, oh, Asian America is so young. Most of us are first and second generation. And in numbers wise, that's very true. But what that does is that perpetuates the eternal foreigner stereotype, right?
Mm.
It says even though our community has been here over 150 years, you don't have roots in this country. You don't have anything to tie into. But you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like when a first generation African kid arrives in America, the whole history of Black struggle and pain and beauty and culture is theirs. It's their inheritance by being in America with Black skin.
For
And I think
sure.
we got to see the same thing. Being in America in Asian bodies gives us the responsibility and the opportunity to tap into this long history and heritage of activism and struggle and culture.
Right. We should feel honored to be Asian, which is something
Exactly.
that happened too because it also has a record called Honor. And I think that's the next one we're going to play. And it ties perfectly into what he just talked about. So
That's
we'll
right.
pull that up.
That's right. So I think they did say that we're going to close out with this clip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just,
Have your last word.
you got any last words, Alan?
Well, I'm just honestly just honored to be a part of this experience. I keep saying honor. I'm stuck on the pun, but I'm really moved honestly by just this whole experience in terms of like our unification as Asian Americans and our solidarity with other communities, especially the Black community. And I feel like we need to continue that so that it doesn't just end at COVID. This is now an ongoing conversation. So, and I think that it's important to normalize our experiences and also everyone else's too, so that we start becoming more human instead of these like caricatures that people can just be like, oh, they're like this because this is what they are, and we can start really having real conversations. So, and of course, if you guys are watching, me and Jason would love your support. We love to connect with you and talk with you if you guys have any questions, And yeah, and our music is everywhere. It's just shameless plug.
True. So yeah, again, you can find Alan everywhere as Alan Z, just the letter Z. I'm everywhere as Jason Chu, Jason CHU Music. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in throughout the day. I've often said Ace NextGen is my favorite org to be a part of. I've done a lot of bullshit orgs, and there's a lot of good intentions. I love Ace NextGen because it's focused on entrepreneurship. It's focused on people really helping in tangible ways. We go around when you've got an ask, when you've got a need, people give, and we help each other build our things. So if you are a member, thank you. If you're not a member, consider joining. Please donate. I know that there's a donation drive, and we're trying to save AAPI entrepreneurs, small businesses that would go out of business otherwise. It's been an honor, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege. My name is Jason Chu, and my song Honor is out now. The album Living Room comes out on Friday. This is the first single. I hope that y'all enjoy this video.
Thank you, but it's an honor just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian.
From gold skin to cinnamon green cars and citizens, airless university scholarships and immigrants, dark hair and irises, young without college and whatever we playing at. We be killing it, humble but dominant. Grew up in Acrobat, flip from laundromat to graduate to diplomat. Called Chinaman by the ignorant, the wise, they call them gentlemen. Y'all know what time it is. I love my people, how we haggle at the markets. Take a family vacation to the outlets. Eating out is not a question if we're gonna split, or if anyone takes the last portion. No, I love the smell of salt and sweet, gold in the air like the sun off the beach. I love the stories that make us so unique. You can copy the food, but the soul is out of reach. It's an honor
just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian.
Okay, it's the voice of the people, voice from the steeple, voice of illegals who tug a war with the eagle, who can't speak up, who kick your feet up, then say they taking all the jobs while they clean up. Yeah, so just sweep them and push them to the side, but keep them if you see the dollar signs.
Your story's so unique.
Say we need them, but actions admit the lie. If history's repeating, I don't think we'll leave it mind. Yeah, get your cloud points, pimpin' art voice. Yeah, breath of fresh air, guess I'm just your out toy. People of color, yeah, need to be scholars. And lift it up and on, time to remove the shock collar. Use as your token, but even checks fade. Tell me which of your pawns will fight a checkmate. I know you need us, just admit that you do. In a decade you will see if what we're saying is true. It's an honor
just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian. Honor just to be Asian.
white and blue collar, they come, became martyrs. Honor to all the mothers and fathers and daughters, sons of back kitchens, liquor stores and corners, dollar cabs, massage parlors and fruit farmers. Grew up with no role models and no stories. Learned to use tongues and brains and do order. War they called on us, then left us war torn. It's no surprise we cut borders but not corners. And they treat my father like he's still a tourist, but they got no problem buying Sony or a Taurus. Hypocrites. I'm learning to ignore them, cause the obstacles they gave us only taught us how to flourish. Artesia to Tyson's corner, the streets of Flushing, Plano. Yeah, my people's gorgeous. Sky is the limit. Since Bruce broke the boards, I know no bamboo could ever hold us underwater. It's an honor.